You ever noticed how some people walk into life like they've already won, while others look like they're apologizing just for existing? There's a reason. And if you stay with me for the next few minutes, you're going to learn the one mentality, yes, the one that separates the ones who rise from the ones who rot. But before we go any deeper, let me ask you a real question. Are you sure you're ready for this? Because once you understand this mindset, you can't go back to the passive, quiet version of yourself. So if you're here just to feel motivated, this isn't for you. But if you clicked because something inside you is tired of being prey, then keep listening. You're about to understand what it truly means to become a lion.
A lion mentality begins in the moments no one sees. The early dawn, when the world is silent and the air is thick with decisions that will shape the rest of your life. Picture a young lion separated from its pride for the first time. The grass is tall, the night is colder than it should be, and every sound feels like a threat. For a moment, fear tries to take over. But instead of running, instead of curling into the ground, the lion lifts its head. It listens. It learns. It realizes that nobody is coming to save it. Nobody's coming to guide it. Nobody's coming to show it the path. This is the exact moment it discovers something powerful. Strength isn't given. It's built when you have no choice but to stand alone. That's what the lion mentality looks like in a human life too. It's the moment you stop waiting for someone to push you. The moment you stop expecting the world to understand your dreams. The moment you feel the weight of loneliness, pressure, expectations, and instead of breaking, you decide you're gonna rise through it. Lions aren't born fierce. They become fierce through the nights they spend facing the unknown, through the days they wander further than before, through the challenges that force them to grow, to think sharper, to walk taller. And as that young lion learns how to survive on its own, something changes. Its steps slow down, its eyes sharpen. It stops reacting to every rustle in the grass and starts observing instead. It stops wasting energy on fear and starts conserving it for the moment that matters. It becomes patient, disciplined, strategic. That transformation, silent, internal, unglamorous, is exactly how you become unstoppable. It's not the roar that makes the lion powerful. It's the mindset formed long before the roar ever comes. Most people never become lions because they never escape the comfort of being prey. They move through life hoping someone chooses them, validates them, or hands them an easier path. They're trapped in a loop of hesitation, always planning, always talking, always dreaming, but never striking. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The world rewards hunters, not wanderers. While a lion studies the field and waits for the perfect moment to attack, most people panic at the first sign of pressure. They fold under discomfort. They retreat when life gets loud, and they hide behind excuses that sound reasonable, but slowly suffocate their potential. What keeps them stuck isn't a lack of talent or opportunity. It's the fear of stepping into the unknown. Prey animals look at the world and see danger everywhere. Lions walk through the same world and see opportunity. Most people cling to distractions because they're terrified of what they might discover about themselves if they sat alone with their thoughts. They avoid challenges because challenges expose their weaknesses. They avoid discipline because discipline demands identity change. And so they live small, quiet lives, watching others win, wondering why nothing ever shifts for them. The difference isn't fate, it's mentality. And until you decide to stop living like prey, you'll never touch what a lion touches. There comes a moment in every person's life where they realize they've been moving like prey, reacting, fearing, hiding, waiting for something to change. Prey thinking is the mindset of survival, not growth. It's when you wake up each day hoping life goes easy on you, hoping people treat you well, hoping problems stay small. It's a life built on avoidance, avoiding risk, avoiding judgment, avoiding responsibility. And the danger of living like prey is simple. The world decides your fate for you. You let circumstances push you, people shape you, and fear guide you. But predator thinking, that's a different world entirely. It's the mindset where you stop letting life happen to you and start taking control of your direction. Imagine a lion lifting its head after hearing movement in the distance, not with panic, but with awareness. That's the shift. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" predator thinking asks, "What do I need to do to win?" Prey thinking sees uncertainty as a threat. Predator thinking sees uncertainty as an opening. Prey waits. Predator moves. Prey reacts. Predator anticipates. This shift isn't loud or dramatic. It happens quietly, often in a moment when you're tired of your own excuses. It's when something inside you snaps, not in anger, but in awakening. You stop chasing comfort and start chasing clarity. You stop trying to avoid fear and start using fear as fuel. And for the first time, you understand that your life only changes when you start choosing your path instead of letting the world choose it for you. This is the moment you stop being ruled by doubt and start becoming dangerous. A lion's power isn't in its roar, it's in its mind. The real strength of a lion comes from the way it thinks long before it ever moves. A lion can go days without eating, but it doesn't panic. It doesn't chase everything that crosses its path. It waits. It watches. It conserves its energy for the moment that actually matters. That's focus. That's patience. That's discipline. And most people today have none of it. They want results instantly, validation immediately, success without the grind. But lions understand a truth most people never learn. You don't win by doing more. You win by doing what matters. When a lion decides to strike, it's not emotional. It's not impulsive. It's intentional. A lion studies its target. It calculates distance, timing, movement, risk. It doesn't let hunger control it, fear control it, or noise control it. This is where real power comes from. Self-mastery. The ability to control your impulses, to control your reactions, to stay centered even when everything around you is chaotic. While others get drained by distraction, lions stay locked into the mission. While others chase every opportunity, lions chase the right opportunity. And here's the truth that stings. Most people will never touch greatness because they're ruled by their emotions. They quit when it hurts. They panic when it's uncertain. They lose focus at the first sign of discomfort. But a lion mentality demands a different level of self-discipline. It forces you to sit with your hunger without collapsing. It forces you to delay gratification while others beg for shortcuts. It forces you to master the inner battle long before you ever win the outer one. When you think like a lion, you don't need constant motivation. You move because your purpose won't let you stay still. A lion's strength isn't built in the hunt. It's built in the hours before it. Picture a lion sitting in the tall grass, unmoving, almost statuesque. The sun is beating down, the hunger is sharp, and lesser animals would already be scrambling for anything they could find. But not the lion. The lion understands timing. It understands restraint. It understands that attacking at the wrong moment is worse than not attacking at all. That level of patience isn't weakness, it's power. And that's the first truth of the lion mentality. A lion doesn't chase everything. It chases what matters. Focus is the lion's secret weapon. When a lion locks onto a target, the rest of the world disappears. It's not thinking about yesterday's mistakes or tomorrow's problems. It's here, in the moment, fully engaged. Humans lose because they scatter their focus like confetti. They try 10 things, commit to none, panic at the slightest resistance. A lion doesn't do that. It chooses one mission at a time and burns through it with ruthless clarity. That's what true focus looks like, the removal of everything unnecessary. But above all, a lion is defined by discipline, an inner command that refuses to break. A lion hunts when it's tired. It protects when it's wounded. It leads even when it feels alone. And the reason it can do all of this is because it controls itself before it controls anything else. No emotion drags it off its path. No impulse dictates its moves. No fear rewrites its mission. Most people crumble under feelings, temptations, and doubts, but a lion uses those same pressures as sharpening tools. A lion becomes unstoppable not because it's the strongest in the savannah, but because it is the most disciplined in its mind. That's the lion mentality. Patience when others rush, focus when others scatter, control when others panic, and discipline when others surrender. This is how you win, not by being faster, louder, or bigger, but by mastering yourself so deeply that the world has no choice but to move around you.
Look around you. Everywhere you turn, something is trying to tame you. Your phone buzzing, your mind wandering, the endless scroll of entertainment that keeps you passive, comfortable, and weak. Modern life doesn't try to destroy lions, it tries to keep you too distracted to ever become one. And this is where most people lose the battle without even realizing they're in one. They think they're taking a break. They think they're just relaxing. They think they'll get serious tomorrow. But every notification you chase, every useless habit you repeat, every hour you waste, it all chips away at your drive, your hunger, your edge. This is the new battlefield, a silent war against distraction. And the truth is brutal. If you don't learn to control your attention, the world will control it for you. Predators don't survive by being overstimulated. They survive by staying locked on to the mission. Imagine a lion scanning the field, ready to hunt, but suddenly stopping to chase butterflies, noise, shadows. It would starve. It would lose its instinct. That's exactly what happens to people today. They lose themselves in temporary pleasure and forget the permanent damage it does to their potential. And here's the part that should make you uncomfortable. Distractions don't just delay your goals, they make you forget you even had them. Slowly, quietly, without resistance. That's why lions isolate themselves before a hunt. They get rid of every sound, every movement, every unnecessary thought that could pull them off track. If you want to become dangerous, powerful, unshakable, you must learn to do the same. Because the enemy isn't just outside you. The real enemy is the version of you that is too easily entertained to ever build something legendary. A lion doesn't become a leader in the middle of the crowd. It becomes one in the quiet, lonely corners of the savannah, where no applause exists and no eyes are watching. Solitude is where strength is forged, where identity is sharpened, where clarity rises above chaos. Picture a lion walking away from the pride, not because it's weak, not because it's lost, but because it needs that distance to understand itself. In the stillness, the lion hears things it can't hear when surrounded by noise. Its instincts, its hunger, its purpose. Humans are no different. The strongest versions of yourself are built in moments when it's just you, your thoughts, and the direction you choose to walk. Most people fear solitude because it exposes the truth. It forces you to face the parts of yourself you've been distracting yourself from. It makes you confront your doubts, your habits, your excuses. But lions don't run from reflection, they use it. That's why the world's strongest people often spend long stretches in silence, resetting their focus, rebuilding their discipline, reconnecting with who they're becoming. When you step away from the noise, you stop thinking like the herd and start thinking like a hunter. You realize what deserves your energy and what doesn't. You feel your hunger come back. You feel your mission sharpen. In solitude, a lion doesn't ask, "What do others expect from me?" It asks, "What do I expect from myself?" And the answer to that question changes everything. That's where dominance begins, not in competition with others, but in the internal battle to become someone you respect. Solitude is not emptiness, it's elevation. It's the environment where you stop being shaped by the world and start shaping yourself into the lion you were meant to become. Every lion has a season where it must walk alone,
not because it's abandoned, not because it's broken, but because greatness can't be formed in the noise of the crowd. Picture a lion slipping away from the pride at dusk, the sky burning orange, the air thick with silence. No footsteps follow, no eyes watch. In that emptiness, the lion isn't lost, it's becoming. That is where real strength is built. In the quiet places where you're forced to hear your own thoughts, confront your own fears, and face the parts of yourself you've tried to outrun. Solitude is not punishment. It's the furnace that burns away everything weak, everything uncertain, everything that doesn't belong in the next chapter of your life. Most people will never experience that transformation because they cling to noise like a life raft. They drown themselves in constant chatter, endless scrolling, shallow conversations, and meaningless distractions just to avoid being alone with themselves. But lions know something the herd doesn't. You cannot build dominance in a room full of voices telling you who you should be. You build it when everything goes quiet and you're left standing face to face with your potential. That's where you learn what you truly want. That's where your hunger returns. That's where the weak version of you falls apart so the stronger version can rise. In solitude, a lion doesn't ask, "Who will support me?" It asks, "Who must I become?" And that question changes everything: your priorities, your habits, your confidence, your path. Solitude gives you the space to think like a leader instead of reacting like prey. It reconnects you with your purpose. It forces you to build discipline without an audience and strength without applause. That's why lions embrace isolation, because they know that the world is shaped by people who are willing to step away from the noise long enough to hear the voice inside saying, "You're meant for more."
Every lion, no matter how powerful, wakes up some days without fire. Days when the body is tired, the mind is clouded, and the hunger feels distant. But here's what separates a lion from everything else in the wild. It moves anyway. It hunts anyway. It leads anyway. Strength isn't built on the days you feel unstoppable. Anyone can be motivated when life feels easy. Strength is built on the days when your heart is heavy, your energy is low, and every part of you wants to lie down and give the world a quieter version of yourself. That's the daily battle humans face too, the war between who you are now and who you are trying to become. Picture a lion at dawn, exhausted from the night, muscles sore, breathing heavy. It doesn't wait for inspiration. It relies on instinct. It knows the pride is counting on it. It knows hunger won't wait. It knows hesitation is the difference between surviving and starving. That's the mindset you have to carry into your own life. You don't become a lion by doing what you feel like. You become one by doing what you said you would do long after the feeling has left. Lions don't negotiate with weakness. They don't bargain with excuses. They move with purpose, even when discomfort screams louder than motivation. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Greatness isn't a single moment of glory. It's 1,000 small decisions made in silence. Waking up early when you'd rather stay in bed, choosing discipline when distraction feels easier, showing up when nobody is watching. Lions are built in these moments, these choices, these battles that look insignificant on the outside, but redefine who you become on the inside. Every time you push through resistance, you carve a new identity. Every time you choose discipline, you sharpen your edge. Every time you do the hard thing anyway, you step closer to becoming the version of yourself that can't be broken. Acting like a lion isn't about feeling powerful. It's about refusing to stay weak. It's about choosing action over emotion, purpose over comfort, and growth over excuses. That's the daily battle. And every day you win it, you become more dangerous than the day before. There's a moment in every lion's life when something inside them snaps, not in anger, but in realization. A moment when the excuses, the hesitation, the fear all become too heavy to carry any further.
Picture a young lion standing over its reflection in a river. It sees weakness, doubt, confusion staring back. But then something shifts. The eyes harden, the breath steadies, the posture changes. It's the moment the lion understands that nobody is coming to save it, nobody is coming to hand it power, nobody is coming to unlock its potential. It has to claim it. That instant, that internal spark, is the real beginning of transformation, and every great human story begins with that same turning point. This is the rehook, the moment you realize you've been living beneath your capacity. Maybe you felt it, that quiet frustration with yourself, that discomfort when you look at your life and know you're capable of so much more. That's not guilt, that's your inner lion waking up. That's the part of you that's tired of being timid, tired of holding back, tired of letting life push you instead of the other way around. Lions don't wait for permission. They rewrite their destiny the moment they decide they're done being prey. And here's the truth you can feel in your chest right now. Your life changes the second you decide you're done living small. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. The shift isn't dramatic, it's internal. It's the moment you stop saying, "I wish," and start saying, "I will." The moment you stop hoping for strength and start building it. The moment you stop watching others live boldly and finally choose to step into your own power. That's the moment a lion is born, not through force, not through noise, but through a quiet, unshakable decision that says, "I'm done running. It's my turn to hunt." Transformation never arrives with a shout. It creeps in quietly, in the way you start carrying yourself, in the way you think before you act, in the way you stop letting fear dominate your decisions. One day you wake up and realize you no longer feel like the person who used to second-guess everything, who used to hesitate, who used to shrink back into comfort. You feel something different, an intensity, a clarity, a presence. It's the moment you stop seeing yourself as the one being chased by life's pressures and start seeing yourself as the one moving towards what you want with purpose. That's when the world begins to bend differently around you. Imagine a lion walking through the savannah after its first successful hunt. It moves differently, not with arrogance, but with certainty. It's no longer operating from fear, it's operating from identity. That's what happens to you when you embrace your lion mentality. You stop worrying about who's watching you, who's doubting you, or who's counting you out. Your focus sharpens, your discipline strengthens, your habits evolve. You begin to act from a place of ownership instead of desperation. And the things that once intimidated you now feel small, manageable, conquerable. People around you notice it too. They sense the shift in your eyes, your tone, the way you walk into a room. You're no longer reacting to life, you're directing it. You're no longer escaping obstacles, you're hunting opportunities. The transformation is subtle but undeniable. You think with strategy, move with intention, and show up with a level of self-respect that demands respect in return. You stop depending on luck and start depending on your own discipline, your own preparation, your own hunger. That's the moment you understand what it truly means to be the hunter. And once you taste that version of yourself, you never go back. The future built with a lion mentality doesn't look anything like the life you've lived before. It's sharper, louder, richer with purpose. You start walking into opportunities instead of waiting for them. You start speaking with conviction instead of uncertainty. You start chasing goals that once felt impossible because now you see them differently, not as distant fantasies, but as targets within reach, waiting for the right hunter to claim them. Your future becomes a reflection of the choices you make today, disciplined, courageous, intentional. You stop drifting and start directing. You stop hoping and start acting. The world stops feeling overwhelming because you've become the kind of person who can handle it.
Picture the future version of yourself waking up with clarity, moving with confidence, choosing your path instead of inheriting one. This version of you has a spine made of discipline and a heart made of fire. You're not controlled by fear, distraction, or doubt anymore. Instead, you control your habits, your focus, your attention, your destiny.
Every challenge becomes an opportunity to sharpen your claws. Every setback becomes fuel. Every goal becomes a mission. With the lion mentality, your future isn't just something you step into. It's something you hunt down, something you dominate through relentless consistency and unshakable belief. And here's the part you need to feel in your bones. Nothing about your past disqualifies you from becoming that person. Lions aren't born legends, they grow into them. So will you. That future version of you is already waiting, stronger, wiser, more disciplined, more dangerous. The only question left is whether you're willing to rise into it, whether you're willing to let the lion inside you take the lead. Because the moment you do, your future stops being something you fear and becomes something you conquer. If you felt something waking up inside you today, don't ignore it. That's your signal. That's the part of you that knows you're meant for more than the life you've been settling for. The lion mentality isn't a slogan, it's a decision, one you make every single day. And if you're ready to step into that version of yourself, then don't just click away and forget this moment. Protect it, feed it, act on it. If you want more videos that keep you locked into this mindset, more content that pushes you, sharpens you, and keeps your inner lion alive, then hit subscribe. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next step in this journey. Because every video we drop is another weapon for your mental arsenal, another reminder that you're not here to live quietly, you're here to hunt. And if you're ready to keep rising, then don't leave yet. Click on the next video waiting for you on the screen. Let it pull you deeper into the mentality you're building. Don't go back to who you were 5 minutes ago. Move forward. Stay sharp. Stay hungry. The world doesn't need another follower. It needs the lion you're becoming.